Welcome to the Freedom and Prosperity Podcast with your host, Desi Arnaz. Join us as we explore the journeys of top achievers who share strategies and stories about their success and living life on their own terms. Get ready to be inspired.
Everly May Capital Group is proud to be sponsors of the Freedom and Prosperity Podcast because we believe that every American should be striving for freedom and prosperity. To that end, what we do is we allow people to partner with us in our real estate business. We invest in real estate and real estate related assets all around the country, and people use their IRA, their 401k, their personal savings, even their mattress money to invest with us so they can earn above average returns. They can earn passive income on a quarterly basis, and their investment is secured by real property, unlike the stock market, right? And so if you want to know more about how that works, then head on over to our website. It is www.everlymaymortgagefund.com, and Everly May is spelled Everlymae. Head on over to everlymaymortgagefund.com. You can learn more about what it is that we do, and if you like what you see, you can schedule an appointment to speak with me directly, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. So, with that being said, enjoy today's episode. God bless you. Well, hello, guys, and welcome to today's episode of the Freedom and Prosperity Podcast. I am Desi Arnaz, your host, and I want to tell you guys I'm excited today because the gentleman that I'm going to introduce you guys to today has taken the road, not just the road less traveled. I'm going to let him explain it the way he just explained it to me because I thought it was hilarious the way that he said it. But what he's done has been pretty amazing, and the successes that he has achieved are enviable. And I think you guys are going to really enjoy his story. His name is Daniel Krikorian, and he runs a company called Be Remembered. Be Remembered, which I think is a really cool name because it's not the BE, it's just B. Okay, Be Remembered. Hello, Daniel. Welcome in.
How you doing? Thank you for having me.
Oh, I'm doing wonderful, man. It's great to be here. Fun to have another fellow bald guy here together.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We got to stick together, you know?
We gotta stick together,
It's the
baby.
bald and beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But
Oh.
I was looking through your website and looking
Mhm.
over, what you do, and I thought this is why I wanted you on our podcast. This guy has a great story to tell. And the space that you've chosen to be in is a space that most people don't even think about. And so if you don't mind
Yeah.
sharing with the audience here just a little bit of a background and give me some idea of
Mhm.
how you kind of got started and why you chose what you're doing.
Yeah. Oh, well, I don't think I chose it, which is kind of the first funny story here. So I own Be Remembered. It's a wedding service provider, or I should say it was a wedding service provider. So back in 2020, I was doing a lot of production work, documentary work. I was a producer, executive producer, did a lot for sports production. And in 2020, I was sitting on my hands with COVID,
Uh-huh.
and I kept getting a lot of requests for weddings, which was very odd. We had a small team at that time. It was only about 4 or 5 of us. We had done photo and video in the past, and we were listed on this site under weddings and events. And the only reason we put ourselves there was simply so companies would find us when they typed in events, right? Corporate party, they would
Sure.
find us, we'd jump in, we'd then go kind of sell them on the advertising space. It was a really good way to jump into another business that could potentially be a reoccurring stream of revenue for us. Well, obviously, companies were not spending much on marketing. They couldn't be in person. So the wedding side started picking up, and all of the vendors went ahead and just jumped offline because they said, I'm going to take a government paycheck. I'm not going to go out there and have to work if I'm getting paid to do this. And,
Yeah.
I thought it was wrong, but that's what happened.
Yeah.
So you had
Yeah.
a bunch of couples that were just like, screw it, we've waited too long. I want to get married. Let's go find someone. We'll do it outside. We'll do it as safe as we can, but like that's what we're gonna do. And we were on there. We do our first wedding. I did the first photography job, and figured out how to do it. I researched how to do a wedding. I said, sure. Went out, did it. They left us a 5-star review and they said that was the best customer service we ever had. And I'm sitting there going, that makes no sense. I've done this once. How did I get a 5-star? Well, my business partner, James, at the time, does another. I do another. And the 5 stars start racking up. So we don't really understand what's happening. Again, it's that untouchable type of business where everyone thinks it's too hard to get into, so they stay
Hmm.
away from it. And
Hmm.
before you and I jumped on this, I was saying I not only took the road less traveled, I took the one that no one wanted to be on. And I said that in a joking manner because looking back, I would have never chose this road. I know all of the problems with it. I know why there hasn't been another company like me, and it's probably because they were smart and I'm not. Like it's kind of that space, or maybe I'm ignorant. I don't really know. But anyways, so we start going, and in the first year we do like 180 weddings, right? An
Wow.
outrageous amount. Yeah, because everyone says, again, you had service providers in the past. They were doing 6 to 8 hour jobs. That's how they made their money for the year. They had high prices. We came out and we said, you can't do a reception. We'll do a 1 and 2 hour package. And me, James, and then we pulled in two more friends. We're each doing 4 or 5 weddings a day. We would go and just drive around and
Wow.
do these weddings. Right. So four of us, we start doing this. We make a few bucks. Next year out, because of all the 5 stars, we get flooded with inquiries, and we do around 447 weddings, and it really takes off. And we say, okay, we need more staff. We're going to build a model where we own the equipment, so that way, you don't have to worry as a contractor. You go ahead, you sign up to work with us. We train you on how we want you to act, how we want you to capture. Boom. Well, 5 stars keep flooding in, and we have this really interesting thread that starts occurring, and that is the vendors. This is why I don't suggest this industry to anyone, but the vendors need help. They need they don't know how to market, they don't know how to sell, they don't know how to run a business. And most of them have incredible talent, but they don't know how to get into this untouchable business. They don't know how to run it, etc. And then you have the couples who once in a lifetime experience, want to do it right, don't know where to go, don't have the millions of dollars that the vendor is asking for, and you just have this really weird mismatch. And you have some other sites out there that are basically like, hey, we'll help connect you to. We're going to charge the vendor a lot. We're just going to
Hmm.
connect you to, and then we're going to, good luck. We wish you the best. And so, again, I'm sitting there going, something's wrong with this industry if I'm able to, do this so quickly.
Hmm.
Next year out, we do about 782 weddings that year.
Wow.
Yeah, and then the fourth year we do 1,200. And so now we're at a really interesting crossroad, though. We have a lot of vendors to manage, a lot of equipment to manage. We have couples who, and this was our market from the beginning, vendors have two choices. They either run around like they're crazy doing 80 to 100 weddings a year to make ends meet, if they can even
Hmm.
book that many, or
Hmm.
they jack up their prices and they do 20 and they try to compete with the top 10% of weddings every year. So we went after, that 89%, because it's actually 11% up there. So we went after the 89%, and we lowered our prices because we had quantity. And we said to the vendors, listen, you can have a job, you can have 3 jobs every weekend if you want. Like just come work for us. You can do 3 jobs and you can make
Yeah.
enough money to support yourself, right? So so our crossroad though, we do 1,200, and we realize that the overhead is too much. To expand, it doesn't make sense, right? We want to start expanding across the nation, and we just simply can't do it. There's too much to manage. Too many mistakes were happening because human error, and the
Sure.
whole system that was working so well, creating experiences that were leading to 5-star reviews and incredible, couple interactions was now starting to tail off because we just couldn't manage it properly. And there was no system that we could find. And trust me, we looked. I mean, we were thinking everything from selling franchises
Hmm.
to basically putting like an Amazon style hub and spoke model. How do we make this work? And ultimately, what it came down to was to go ahead and build a wedding platform where the vendor had basically a SaaS platform where they could access everything online. The couple had access to tools, payment structures, everything. So they weren't
Mm-hmm.
just being left. They could still find that vendor, they could connect with them. We're going to help you find them instead of just letting you search this long list of want ads. We're going to actually be like, hey, this is what you should be booking. Here's why. It's in your price range. It's the right amount of hours. It captures what you want. All of these matching metrics. And then we're going to pick the right vendor for you. Hey, this is your vibe. This is your style. This is the pricing. Boom. And you're going to connect with them while actually having access to 24/7 support, while having tools to connect and pay, while paying through a secure platform so the vendor
Mm-hmm.
doesn't forget to bill you, while
Mm-hmm.
getting all of your photos through an online drive so that way they're accessible to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So again, we're really a dual, market. We're a marketplace. We're taking care of our vendors, we're taking care of our couples. And the reason why I say, please, if you're getting into any entrepreneurial space, there are easier ways to make money, and that is because you don't have to deal with both groups. It's a lot of work.
Well, you mentioned the word SaaS. What is that?
Hmm. Yeah. Well, I laugh because my fiance is in the SaaS space, more in the investment SaaS, and I'm not going to do it justice in explaining what SaaS
Okay.
is.
All right.
Um, but essentially it's software as a service. And so what we do, and everyone's doing it right now. If it's very easy to build SaaS products at the moment. AI is leading the charge here. I think
Okay.
the SaaS world is going to be changing in a major way in the next 5, 10 years, because right now you have a product like you and I might use a SaaS product, such as, I don't think this qualifies, so I'm going to butcher this here so no one jump down my throat, but like a QuickBooks, right? You and
Uh-huh.
I have have QuickBooks accounts. But now AI is creating SaaS products in a way where, if I need a specialized QuickBooks, I don't have to pay for QuickBooks anymore. I just have AI spin up a SaaS product for me.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
but it's not quite there yet. I've learned how to code and build one. So I ended up building our own platform. And we have basically two SaaS products. We have our vendor SaaS product, which gives them access to tools, uploading, storage space, everything that they need to work and build their business, because we're
Mm-hmm.
trying to encourage them to really build the business through us. And then we have a SaaS product for our customers where they can go ahead and access tools to manage their wedding, to help run it, and, whether it be their timeline, their schedule, I'm sorry, their music choices for their schedule, all the way to contacting their vendor through messaging and more.
So it sounds like you're saying that you guys have this. I'm just gonna, I'm really old school. So I'll just say you guys have this like back office that can kind of make sure
Mhm.
everything works well so that a guy or a gal that's out there facing the public and dealing
Mhm.
with weddings, they don't have to worry about that stuff. You got all that covered. All they need to do is show up,
Yeah.
take their pictures or whatever it is that they're doing, shoot their video, and you guys got it covered from there. Is that right?
That's really it. And what I tried to do was I looked at the overall experience and I said, what of this can be automated? If it's emails, if it's reminder emails, if it's payment, right? You know, the amount of times that customers have said to us when we were doing 1,200 weddings, can I get an invoice to pay my final bill?
Yeah.
And it takes, it adds up. When you do
Yeah.
quantity, that adds up. Well, now the customer doesn't have to do that. They log into their profile, they click pay now, they choose the tip, and they check out, right?
Wow.
Yeah, the email gets sent to them the week before saying you have a bill due. So, you
Yeah.
know, the way I saw it was, if you want to expand in quantity, you either need to take on a bunch of overhead, which just didn't make sense, or you can go ahead and automate. And, what I also think too, because automation scares a lot of people, and we're in a very personalized space. People don't want to feel automated as a couple for the
Right.
biggest day of their life. They
Right.
want to feel a personal connection.
Personalized. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you can do both. And see, this is the greatest bit. Um, you can automate everything that doesn't make sense to have a person there, and then you can focus all of your attention. Sending a bill. Does someone really need to send that bill? No, but you need to make sure that on the other side of that bill, if I message back saying this is the wrong amount, that someone's available for you 24/7,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So it's things like that where we're taking the 90% of the job that doesn't need any personal interaction and that has a lot of human error involved, and we're putting that to automation and bringing in the technology to satisfy it. So that way we can focus heavily on that 10%
I love it.
because that's where the experience is made.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And the customers will love it too.
Yeah.
They don't want to think about, and they don't really care about things like who did the invoice or how it got here
Right.
or
Right.
that kind of thing. But they do care that, when I do have a question, there's somebody there. They don't want
Yeah.
to talk to a bot.
Yeah.
I just went through this 2 or 3 days ago. My wife and I were looking at something and we just kept getting a bot. And I thought, what do I need to do to get a person?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so
Totally.
I love what you guys are doing. So it sounds like to me that you guys have an opportunity for people that are maybe, I'm assuming these are people that are into videography or into photography. Is that pretty much your
We're actually
vendors?
we're expanding more. We're actually right now we're photo, video, DJ,
Oh,
coordination, planning, live
oh,
music. Yeah, so we hope to even put venues on the platform, caterers. Like we want it so when you go onto our platform, I'll give you a little demo if you want, but when you go onto our platform, you literally click and all of your vendors are in one place. It's
wow.
just my venues here. If I want to pay them a month out, I can click pay, add a tip, boom, my photographer, boom, or I can pay it all at once. So we're even working to get a firm in there too. So that way you can break it up into payment plans.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, that's fantastic.
it's been a year. I mean, again, road less travel doesn't even do it justice because I started this in 2020 and then we are building, 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 and then we went, uh-oh, this is unsustainable. This doesn't allow us to grow. We're having all of these issues. And we took a solid year to understand what the heck is happening, how we can go ahead and fix this problem. Is there a solution out there? Because, that's
Hmm.
the most difficult question
Right, right.
that you have to face in the mirror is, is this fixable? And um, then once we had that plan and vision in place, we've put all the time and effort into making sure that the system works great for our vendors. We have that up. They're loving it. They're using it now. Some hiccups, but really good. And now we're working on the couple side, which has been phenomenal. So we're very excited to release that in September.
Well, Daniel, one of the things that I love about what you're doing is this. Our podcast is the Freedom and Prosperity Podcast. And I've learned, I've been in business since I was literally a junior in high school. I've owned my own
Mm.
businesses, right? Something.
Yeah.
Right? My first business was an import business where I was importing jewelry. As a junior in high school, I was importing it from Korea and selling
Hmm.
it like at swap meets and
Yeah.
places like that. You know what I mean? And even
Yeah.
had buddies
Yeah.
working for me. But what I've learned is that the most difficult way to make a living is as a self-employed person, right? It is, I mean, you're the chief cook, bottle washer, you're the
Yeah.
president, you're the janitor, you're everything.
Yeah.
And it's a difficult world. And then on top of that, then you got to try to coordinate things like invoices and all this other
Hmm.
stuff that you're talking
Hmm.
about. What I see here is you are literally providing a path to freedom for people. I was more than 60 years old before I realized that in order to get, I mean, I can make a lot of money, but if I wanted freedom, I needed to learn how to let other people do other things. And I
Hmm.
focus my energy on the thing that I'm really good at. And it sounds
Hmm.
like to me you have created this whole environment so that people can focus on what they do and do best
Hmm. Hmm.
and leave the back office stuff to you guys. And
Hmm.
I think it's amazing because it's all about free. You're creating freedom, literally creating
Yes.
freedom for people in that industry. Kudos to
Yes.
you, man.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's freedom and I think it's opportunity. That's something that has been kind of the cornerstone of what I wanted. I saw these vendors who, I was grateful. I had a business background and I just pick up things at random. The other day someone said, "Are you talented?" And I said, "No, I think I'm just stubborn." I'm just like, oh, I want to code, and I learned how to code. And it's not.
Okay.
I don't think it's because I have a special skill. I just want to get it done, and YouTube Academy is fantastic.
Yeah.
Um, but
Yeah, it
but
is.
um, but yeah, from the very beginning, there have just been so many incredibly talented individuals that I've seen come through that haven't had the know-how, and I don't expect them to because they focus so much of their energy on the creativity, and that's what
Right.
makes them so incredible. And so
Right.
when they go out to a wedding, you see them and you can't help but appreciate what they can accomplish with this, tool as a camera or, as a DJ. And people say, "Oh, you're just mixing music." No, you're not. Like these guys are the life of the party. These guys are making a special experience. And for us, I don't a lot of the bad reviews that other vendors were getting, I noticed, was great photographer, terrible experience. And that was mostly because, they dropped a camera and they broke a $5,000 lens, and now they have nothing for next weekend, so they're charging you an extra,
Yeah.
20%. And you're like, I
Yeah.
wasn't ready for that, right? It's the insecurity of it all that I think was really affecting the vendors, and the couple was getting the brunt of it, right?
Yeah.
And what really bothered me with these other platforms, never to harp on them, but since they were just like, "Oh, we're going to connect you and leave,"
Yeah.
they they thought the way to create a better wedding experience was to help the couple. And that's a very band-aid reactive approach. The better wedding experience comes from helping the vendor because when the vendor has all of their ducks in a row, they can go ahead and create a better wedding day for the actual couple
Brilliant. Brilliant.
you know
Brilliant.
so that's where we wanted to start. We wanted to re-engineer this. We wanted to be proactive. We wanted to fix the actual issue at hand, which was that vendor's experience, so that way they could have a better couple experience.
Yeah, the vendor is going to be the one delivering the experience. Yeah,
Yeah.
what a great way to think outside the box. And so by
Thank
you
you.
thinking outside the box, you've been able to create for yourself uh, a level of prosperity and freedom for yourself, and now you're able to pass that on to others. And what I really love about it too is that what you're doing is scalable, right? And a guy
Yes.
that a guy or gal that's anywhere in the country that wants to
Hmm.
take their wedding business or even start a wedding
Hmm.
business, wedding planning type business, or to work within that industry, they can connect with you guys, right?
Yes, they can go.
How do
And
they do that?
yeah, so our new site, when we launch, it's going to have an onboarding section. They're going to see it right down at the bottom. It's going to say become a team member, and they can go on there. They can sign up. We have, very quick form just to go through and upload all of your information there. So that way we
Hmm.
can get to know you. We like to make sure that everyone is background checked, verified, you name it.
Hmm.
Simple things just to put our customers at ease and our
Hmm.
couples at ease. And then, you know, in the future, and we've done this in the past, we'll be creating an academy as well where where vendors will be able to sign up and learn how to become a wedding vendor too, and then be able to
Wow.
jump on our site and even be able to rent equipment. That's another thing. We'll have rentals available for vendors on their vendor platform that they can rent weekly, monthly, daily, to go ahead and get started.
Wow, that's fantastic. So
Thank you.
it's almost like you're doing what Amazon has done when Amazon allows these people to come in and use their own vehicles and they can come and work for
Hmm.
Amazon, not work
Hmm.
for Amazon, but they can work with Amazon
Hmm.
to help deliver products or run that. It sounds like you guys are doing
Yes.
something very similar.
Very much so. I actually worked with AWS or Amazon's delivery service, and it's really fascinating. I took a lot of cues from them. I've
Hmm.
took a lot of cues from Uber as well.
Hmm.
I think Uber having this on-demand system that allows full access, to your driver, in our case, your vendor, but also having that support, I think has been a massive net positive for that industry. I know there's been some issues, but that overall has been a net positive to give people that type of transparency, that ease, that level of on-demand. That the funniest thing is we expect it in this world. In this day and
Yeah,
age, we
yeah,
expect the package in 2 days. We expect the internet to turn on.
yeah,
We expect your movie to stream instantly on your TV. So this industry has been stuck in the 90s, I think, because there's just there hasn't been a lot of movement because the status quo has been just fine. It's owned
sure.
by, a monopoly type of company that they've ran a lot. They have, 20 different names that they all own that they've gobbled up, and
Hmm.
we think that they're not doing enough. And, our growth, I think, shows that people like what we're doing, and
Yeah,
we're going to continue to push it out there
yeah.
and to really help people, because that's at the core. The core is to help both vendors and couples here.
I love it. I love it. I
Mhm.
used to own a franchise, and sounds like to me you guys are actually offering something better than that. I expected a lot more from I used to own a Century 21 franchise, and I expected a lot
Hmm.
more from the corporate
Mhm.
offices than I ever got. You know,
Yeah,
certainly didn't
yeah.
have the kind of support that I'm hearing from you say that you guys are providing for those vendors. And so I see it as a major move. And it's time. Like you said,
Mm.
this has been stuck at 20 years, 30 years ago. The same
Yeah.
things that were happening then are happening now. And we're in a different world, you
Right,
know.
right.
And
Totally.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I love the fact that you are forward thinking and
Thank you.
innovative. So
Thank you.
you mentioned that your website would be up soon.
Hmm.
Is there any way that people can reach out and contact you now? I mean, can they get
Yeah.
on like some sort of a list or something?
Absolutely, yeah. I'm telling everyone, send me an email. Our email is info@berememberedproductions.com, and we do have a running list that we're keeping people on. So we're actually, if you reach out, you've been in the industry, happy to go ahead and get you to the right people, get you on our system, even before we launch. So we're very excited here,
I love it.
and yeah, it's gonna be very exciting, just because there's so much for everyone. This is something that we called it hand jamming. We had to have someone doing this process. Things get
Yes.
missed, and all of it. Just you now have access to it. We're really
Yeah.
hoping that's going to be great for everyone.
Oh, I'm sure that it is. And so, you guys that are watching and listening to this podcast, I want you guys to do something. I want you guys, first of all, to listen to it again. And those of you that have been thinking about trying to get into, let's just say, a business, um, something that you can do. Here's an opportunity, and it's a ground floor opportunity to get in with Daniel and his company, Be Remembered. And then that's the name of the company. And you will be remembered too, by the way, because you will have provided such a great service to the wedding customers, which is the bride and groom, right? So you guys need to be reaching out to Daniel. He said that you can reach him at info@berememberedproductions.com. Productions is plural.com. So reach out to Daniel there, get on the list, and start preparing yourself. I love the fact that Daniel's company even has a vision of being able to provide you with the equipment that you need. And all you'll need to do literally is just go out there, show up, do what you do best, and let them handle the back office. That's going to give you the freedom that you're seeking. Those of you that watch my podcast, I know that you guys are looking for freedom and you're looking for prosperity. And I can tell you this, if you have the freedom to just do what you're good at, then that's going to give you the more time to become prosperous because now you can actually work with more people because you're not bogged down with the minutia, right? And
Mhm.
working with serving more people literally is how you become prosperous. I had a grandson ask me once before, how did you become rich, Grandpa? And I said, look, I serve a lot of people. I
Mhm.
said, most people have a job and they serve one person or one company.
Mhm.
That's it. And they get
Mhm.
paid for that. and that's fine. I said, but I serve a lot of people and I get paid for that. As a
Mm.
result of that, it has given me prosperity, you know.
Mm.
And so
Mhm.
that's what you guys are offering. So I appreciate that. Is there any last thing that you might want to share, Daniel, with our audience
Mm.
as we move forward and as I wind down the show?
Mm.
Let me ask you this, and because this was in
Sure.
my own mind,
Sure.
what motivated you to just get into business for yourself to begin with? Why not just, go get a job and,
Yeah.
work 9 to 5?
Oh, I'm not wired that way. I wish I was. It would be a lot easier, to be honest with you. My fiance and I talk about this all the time. It would be so much easier for me. Unfortunately, my brain doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
If I see something, I want it done. I want it delivered. I want to figure out how to do it if I don't know. There's a lot of reasons that I just haven't jived in that world.
I
I
love
don't
it.
think I never have. I mean, I started my first business in college,
Hmm.
so we're kind of in the same boat there.
Hmm.
I Yeah, I don't know. I don't know
No,
what.
it's
Yeah,
something inside us, isn't it? It's something,
yeah.
there's something there. And I,
I'm not linear though. I think that's the big thing. I don't see things as linear, like you have to do this and then do that
yeah,
and then do
yeah,
this, you know?
yeah,
It's like, no, we're going here. This needs to be done. So,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Well, I know that folks watching here and listening can relate. That some of you guys can relate, and what I want you guys to take away from this is that look, you're not weird, okay?
No, you're not.
You're
Well,
not weird, and you're not
we all
alone.
might be. You're not alone, but we all might be weird.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
for a long time, I thought I was weird, because I didn't want to do all the things and I didn't feel and think like my friends in high school and in
Mm,
college. I was
mm,
different, and I thought,
yeah.
maybe I'm weird in some way. But I've come to learn, no, I'm not. I'm not weird. I'm just different.
Mm,
And there's diversity there, and that's wonderful. We are all different.
yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
We don't all want to be the same. So, Daniel, I want to thank you for joining us here today. I appreciate your story. I
Thank you.
appreciate what you do as well. The service that you have envisioned and are creating. And I wish you a lot of success. And I'm sure that you're going to be very successful and it's going to grow very
Thank
well
you.
and you're going to help a lot of people.
I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Thank you
Yes.
very much.
Yeah. I appreciate you being here. So you guys that have been watching, I want you guys to do this. Share this podcast. Share it with your friends. If you guys know someone out there that is perhaps in an industry that can benefit from what Daniel is doing, make sure that you share this podcast with those guys so that they can reach out and they can be remembered as well by becoming a part of this network. That's really what this is about, guys. I've said often that we are no longer in like the industrial age. In my mind, we're in the collaboration age.
Mm,
You look at Uber, Lyft,
mm,
Amazon, Walmart, all of them. It's all about collaboration these days. And so here's an
mm,
opportunity for you guys to collaborate with a company called Be Remembered. And
mm.
you can do what you do, they do what they do, and everybody wins. So that's what this is all about.
Right.
All
Love
right.
it.
All
Thank you
right.
very much.
It's my pleasure, my friend. You guys, as always, God bless you. God bless your family and God bless America. See you guys on the next episode.
Thanks for tuning in to the Freedom and Prosperity Podcast with Desi Arnaz. Want to share your success story with our audience? Head over to freedomandprosperitypodcast.com/guest and apply to be our next guest.